Rock City 101.9 FM Citizens Forum. This morning we are looking at a very vital sector of our economy, of our life. Well, a lot of Nigerians may be sentimental, rightly so, we may want to say, on what we want to discuss, but the truth is that everybody needs electricity. It has been described as the greatest human invention in the last 3,000 years. Think of it. What can you do without the need of an electricity supply directly or indirectly? That is what is lacking in our nation. That is what is lacking in our country. Everybody now finds a way of operating itself. That could even be better, but it is more insulting and painful when you are not supplied and then you are being charged or being billed to pay for what you have not been given. That is what is called estimated billing. Well, the federal government, through the National Electricity Commission (NERC), and maybe tactically through the Ministry of Power, have actually tried to ensure that this electricity distribution company, the one we know as discos, provide us with meters. What the metering system will do is to enable you control how much you spend on electricity and what you use on electricity. Well, I know there are some of you who are even saying even those meters I'm talking about the prepaid are suspect in some way, and in some homes some people do not even believe that what they are consuming is what they are paying for. But recently, more visible and fiscal approach is being made to ensure that these distribution companies give us accurate billing, not estimated. Well, I talked about provision of billing, but even when they are not there, how do consumers get protected over this estimated, or to my own word, unused consumption and then payment for unused electricity? It's growing, and we hope this will be seen to a logical, positive, and acceptable end. Last week, the State House of Assembly called the public to a public hearing on what they intend to do to have it criminalize estimated billing. This is what we'll be looking at this morning on the Citizens Forum. Daily Ayodo is my name.
And I'm Tobi Joseph. Just like Dele said, we'll be doing a searchlight on the issues concerning distribution of electricity. The distribution company in charge of this area is the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company. And of course, Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company also distributes power to some areas in Ogun State. These were the discourse that were part of those questioned by the Ogun State House of Assembly during the Stakeholders Forum on estimated billings, inability to provide prepaid meters to her customers, and non-compliance with National Electricity Regulation Commission regulations, and erratic power supply in Ogun State, among others. This was held last week, Wednesday, 28th of June, to be precise. We'll be looking at all these issues. What exactly are the highlighted problems and complaints by relevant stakeholders? So what are the issues these distribution companies are also facing? What are the ways out? Those are the issues we want to focus on this morning. And of course, the resolutions by the members of the House of Assembly. We have the Deputy Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly right here in the studio, Honorable Kunle Oluomo. You're welcome once again, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. Good morning.
First of all, let me say that for the purpose of this discussion, simply because they are the ones giving this area light, so we will be referring much to the Ibadan electricity plant and the Ikeja. Ikeja, I understand, supplies the industrial areas of the state, Agbara and the lesser areas, while Ibadan gives light to many of the other parts of the state. Honorable Oluomo, why did you decide to sponsor this bill? Why is it necessary now?
The stakeholders forum arise from a series of petitions that the House have received. Even some members have, one time or the other on the floor of the House, make personal explanation on the issue of electricity as it affects their area. And even me, I cannot start saying the number of communities I have contributed to for them to energize transformer, buy transformer, and so on. And even at that, they're not enjoying the electricity. So when I look at all this, I just felt that the house should intervene and do something on behalf of the people that it makes sense to serve. That's why I came up with that motion, and luckily enough, the House approved of the motion that they should have a stakeholders forum. One, to identify the problem our people are facing, and two, to find a formula to see how we can solve the problem, how we can help the masses, and hear the side of discourse and so on. So now it's just looking for a formula to get out of this ordinary electricity.
Now, before I ask you what the story from the discourse is, what do you think you will achieve with this? Because it didn't just start.
Yes, number one, a problem here is 50% solved. When you get the people together to identify the problem we're having and get those in charge to come, and one way or the other, you have bring, Yoruba will say, Atimoju Alajeko Oniso, we can meet ourselves and find a formula to solve this problem. Not that somebody will be in his house and be complaining, another person will be in his house and be complaining. When we aggregate all together and bring those that are involved down here, then they will have to say something, and we'll look for a way to keep on putting pressure on them to solve the problem. So when it becomes a recurrent decimal that we are putting pressure all the time, certainly something will be done. And even during the stakeholders forum, people confirm that um, when 2, 3, 4 communities make complaints, at least in the first few weeks, they see some little changes in what. So it means that if you keep on complaining, it will even help them to do their job the way they're supposed to do it.
And now, what is the story of the discourse? What have they said?
I think I
To
would want to start by saying that what are the problems the stakeholders forum identified during the stakeholders forum? And we were able to identify at least 15 outstanding issues, which are one, people confirm that they are paying for services that were not rendered to them. We talk about estimated high billing, non-repair or provision of transformers. We realize that despite all those ones, no prepaid meters, the power supply is irregular, this goes using non-staff to do their job like collecting, reading meter and so on. Then high charges on loss of revenue. But there's something they call loss of revenue that whether you use electricity or you don't use, you have to pay. Then I discovered that there's no adequate um, data for their farm. Even they themselves, they don't know. They cannot tell us how many transformers do they have, or how many number of customers they have in a particular area. Then vandalization and theft of facilities. People complain that our cable was removed. The people are saying that, okay, if it is not those who know about electricity or how to do it, who will go and remove cable? If not those
or
behind.
even remove something from
Well,
the
some well,
transformer.
I remember very well in my constituency that I have supported more than 10 communities to replace their cable. Before they wake up in the morning, the cable will have been removed. What we now do is when we put another cable, we now put concrete, put it through a pipe, and then put concrete. So that like a very bad situation. Then they are not complying with laws that is regulating them. Then they keep on asking people to go and buy transformers and energize it on their own. Even when people do all this, they will not have access to the electricity they struggle to put in place. So a lot of business has collapsed because of irregular supply of power. And then again, we realize that the absence of electricity causes a lot of security challenges. When the place is dark, when the whole community is dark, then the hoodlums, the men of the underworld will be able to operate freely under the darkness. These are the problems that were highlighted during the stakeholders forum. Now we now call on the service providers to come and say their own side of the story. Well, they said it. We listened to them. One, they said that the whole of Ogun State is being given 50 megawatts in a day. and that Abeokuta alone requires up to 40. So meaning that what they are giving to Ogun State from the national grid is not adequate for even Abeokuta and maybe one other town again, top place of the entire Ogun State. So that's one of the things they said. They admit that, well, their staff or their workers may be wrong in some areas using um, non-staff to achieve their goal. They agree to that, and they even allow us to. They let us know that well, when they give you estimated billing, if maybe you have been paying 3,000 naira, and all of a sudden they brought a bill of about 7,000 naira. They said that what you need to do is to go and pay that 3,000 that you used to pay, and then complain to the discos that the bill of 7,000 is not your own, because your own is always 3,000. How they come up with the crazy bill, and they give a lot of defense. But I think the long and short of it is that we are trying to look for a way to make our people have access to electricity.
Now, Honorable Oluomo, were you convinced during the defense of this officials of IBADC that truly the problem or the challenge is not of their making?
Yes and no. Yes and no, in the sense that I don't have a parameter to measure whether what they are giving Ogun State is 50 kVA or what, or megawatt or what, or less. We are just trying to do some confirmation on our own, which we are still doing now, to really confirm what is coming to Ogun State from the national grid. We are trying to do that, and most of the things they say are technical in nature. That I cannot just come to the radio and start saying I accept it, or I say no. They are mostly technical. What we are trying to do in the house is we are trying to get technical people to interpret those things for us. So I cannot come here and say yes, I am convinced or I am not convinced, because there are still so many things that has to be done to confirm or disapprove of what they have told us.
Yeah, have you taken that step?
Of course, yes, we are really working on that now. Yes.
Okay. Now, Honorable Oluomo, okay, I understand that you said you are making a bet. As it is now, are you convinced with those stories from the disco?
They have just told us their stories. I've just said it. How can I confirm what I don't know technically? Unless we use the professionals to get the information for us.
Professionals part of the stakeholders forum?
Of course, a lot of people are there. There are civil society organizations. There are even some civil society organizations that are basically on this issue of electricity. And then among them, we have professionals. We have professionals that are saying, okay, is it what they are saying? Let us, okay, if you see the way people are talking to them, you will know that some people they didn't know what they are talking about. Take for instance, somebody came up and said, okay, in my area we bought transformer is directly under the power line, and they drop a light, and they're not supposed to put isolator there. They put isolator there. When they were saying it, I don't know.
So how long will this your technical committee's report come out?
We have asked some professionals to go and look into it, and when they give us those reports, it's not for public consumption. Our own is to use the resolution of the house, attach it to those reports, and tell them that in our own level, these are the things we think you can do to enhance electricity supply to our people in Ogun State. That's all we can do. Don't forget that these discos are not property of Ogun State. Don't forget that they are not property of Ogun State. So we are only doing our bit to get them serve our people very well.
Yeah, that's where we come in. How can they serve our people very well when there are overwhelming complaints by the people? For instance, part of the government, core assignment of government is to protect its people, particularly the weak ones. Okay, let me use the story of Rock City where you are now, which I'm sure is also the story of so many other people listening to us. For the past 3 years, we have not been on this electricity supply. We've been on generator for 3 years. And why? That is because we bought transformers on our own and we're not getting light at all. And yet we're getting disturbed regularly, daily basis, on billing, complaints, what do they call it? The one they bring, you have to pay one excuse or the other. We have to pay to buy cable for repair. We have to pay until we finally decided that enough is enough. And yet, the transformer they say belongs to NEPA now or IBDC or whatever it is, and we are still being disturbed. How can you are a government? How can you protect people like that, or how do you give confidence from these people that to people like that that don't worry, we will protect you from this kind of Shylock business people?
I don't think there's any other protection than what we're doing now. We are on their neck to make sure that our people are not overcharged, they're not overbilled, and that when we are even talking with them that, okay, when people provide transformers on their own and they were able to energize it on their own, you should give them some payment relief. Give them, well, that's what the pressure we are putting on them. That, okay, if we were able to buy transformers so and so for you, give us some months of grace not to pay you, because what you are supposed to have done for us is what we did on our own. These are the things. Let me say it clearly. That
Instead of charging,
yeah, instead of charging within that period,
And even harassing
the people. So that's what we are talking about. You see, like I said, let me say it here clearly. Something is fundamentally wrong with electricity supply in this country. And unfortunately, our leaders at the national level over the years refuse to look at it critically and address it the way they're supposed to address it. In the first place, when we say we have a federalism in a federal state, must we have one electricity generating company all over this country? That was where the error came from a very long time ago. I remember when I was young, it was ECN, Electricity Corporation of Nigeria.
Yeah.
From there, it moves to NEPA. From there, it moves to PCN.
Yes, yeah.
Now, how many electricity generating company have we put in place in Nigeria to commensurate with our development and population? Yes, we're not doing anything. It's just rigmarolling. They're just rolling around,
thinking that the problem is distribution
rather than generation. And the man came out and commented, it is only this government that is out there that has ever in the history of this country produced up to 50 megawatts. I mean 5,000 megawatts. That all other governments in the past have not done that much. And a lot of money has gone into it. But where is the money? Where are those things? We hear of Oluomo, we have all those things that we heard about that time. Where are all those ones? Whereas, can you imagine that this year Germany says they are